Hello, my name is David Green, and this is a tour of the course site for MIS7101, Information Systems and Technology, a course at Governor State University that's part of the Master of Business Administration program, as well as some of the other graduate programs at Governor State. To get started, you may or may not have used Blackboard before at Governor State University. Blackboard is our learning management system, and you can access Blackboard using multiple browsers, and I just put up the icons for a few of them that you may or may not be familiar with. I hope that if you are not familiar with these browsers, that you'll become familiar with them on your own throughout the course. This is a basic skill that everyone should have, and many people actually use a single browser, but I encourage you to download and install multiple browsers and keep them up to date. My personal favorite is Google Chrome. You see the icon in the top left. I also use Mozilla Firefox, Internet Explorer, which is still pretty popular, is although some features of the version of Blackboard we're using don't always work very well in Internet Explorer. And then down at the bottom we have Safari, Apple Safari browser. There are other browsers, so I encourage you to, at the very least, have two of these installed at any one time. So if you run into trouble or a file or a link doesn't work, try it in a second browser before you actually ask if there's a problem on the site. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the tour of the course site. The easiest way to get there is by opening your browser and going directly to the link. The link for the Blackboard Learning Management System at Governor State is bb9.govst.edu. I'm going to go ahead and log in. You should have your login credentials, which is your GSU account, the same that you log in to register for classes through your portal. You can also access Blackboard via your GSU portal too. You should have a course list that has the course listed MIS7101, 13 SU for 13 summer. I'm going to give you a brief tour of the course. You'll see that once you enter the course, the entry point is an announcements page. So anytime I post an announcement, I will post it here. I will also post, anytime I post an announcement, I will check the option to also send it by email. So it's vital that you check your GSU student email often. There is an option to, if you don't check your email often and don't think you will be doing so, there is an option to have your GSU email forwarded to a different account. But you are responsible for checking your email, and that won't be, you can't use it as an excuse for missing something. So it's important that you check your email. So announcements will be posted here, but they'll also be sent as a copy by email each time it's posted. You see the courses organized in four main categories: general course info, course activities, communication, and resources. So the general course info is where you really need to get started after reviewing the initial announcements. And those initial announcements are just a welcome and some information about your required textbook and case study for the course. So there is under that section for general course info, there is a link to announcements. There's also a course and instructor information link. This is where you'll get information like the syllabus, the calendar and checklist, an orientation which goes through some of its navigation in the court, but it's also some basic things about the course and expectations for communicating, etc. I also, once again, I posted a copy of the information. It's also included in your syllabus for the required textbook and case study. I also have a folder for some of the rubrics that are being used in the course for discussion boards or other assignments. So take time to look through each of those. I'll have another discussion or video related to the syllabus. The next section of the course is called course activities. You see under course activities, we have course modules. Course modules, this is where you're going to go back to each week pretty often. So every activity, every learning activity will actually be available via the course module. I do have other links to access some of the same content, but everything will be available via the course modules. So you won't actually see all of these at once. I have access to see all of the the modules uh, at once. So in this course, at this point, there are 7 different modules, including, and before the first one, there's actually an introduction to sort of help get you started. So that's the place to start. Each of these open up, and I'll just show you an example. Each of them, and the introductory module doesn't have very much, but they each have a set of module overviews. Let me go to a different one just so you can see a better example of some of the content. So module overview, and it actually will tell you a little bit about the learning objectives for this learning module. Upon the completion of this lesson, the participant, the student, will be able to, etc., etc., etc. And then there will be a section right after that for the specific module assignments that you're expected. And when I say an assignment, including things that aren't necessarily graded, but will be necessary for you to complete specific outcomes or complete other assignments, such as reading assignments. I also have some content, some multimedia content videos that either I've created or I found from experts that we're talking about, some of the researchers that we're talking about, especially related to strategy in this course. So I encourage you, when I have videos posted, try to take time to read them. I post the amount of time or the length of the video, so you'll know if you have time to sit down and watch it in one setting or not. Many of them are very short. So those are course modules, and the due dates will also be listed, so make sure you follow the due dates. Going back to that previous section, course and instructor information, I have a calendar and checklist that details each of the assignments that have to be submitted and those due dates. So that's something I would actually print out if you're that type of person that has to have a printed copy. Put it on your refrigerator, put it beside your computer, put it in your office, or or not, you can make an electronic copy and put all those dates in your calendar to make sure that you meet all of the due dates for the exams, the major assignments, the discussion assignments, etc. Below, and going back to that course activities section, we have an assignments section that it links to some of the assignments. These are also in the linked in each of the modules, but this is another quick way to go to each of the assignments. But it won't actually have the reading assignments in the other videos. So always go to the course modules first. Make sure you go through the learning activities in the course modules. Okay. There's also a link to assessments that will link to in terms of assessments, we're talking about exams. The exams that are in the system. The exams will also be part of a module as well, but this is another quick way to access the exams, 1, 2, and 3. So there's also a link for grades. Mine actually doesn't show up because I'm an instructor, so I don't have my own grades, but you will be able to view your assignment grades here at this point and actually go back in. This is one way to go back and look at feedback for graded items.